Great to have your company on Tassie Rules, Tasmania's local footy show, with thanks to the great team at DLM Machinery. We're back with a full show this week. Of course, Rep Footy took up most of last week, but plenty of club football all coming back this weekend. We'll get into that a little bit later on, with our club in focus being the Meander Valley Suns. We've got women's footy around Tasmania, and a heap more as well. But first, as we do each and every week, with thanks to Little Rivers Brewing Company, it's time to announce our photo of the week. All right, a couple of photos sent in to us this week. Obviously, as we mentioned, there was no club football, but plenty of action happening at the Rep games. So our first one, this was sent in by Don Tracy. Now, he's the president of the Deloraine Football Club. So they had their own Big Freeze. It was Big Freeze 3, and have a look at them. There they all are, dressed up in their gear for the freeze, and a fantastic effort from everyone that took part and raised money. Over $6,000 raised there for Fight MND with Big Freeze 3 out at Deloraine. But our winner for this week, this was taken at UTAS Stadium in that thrilling game between Hawthorn and the GWS Giants. Have a look at that. That is Marbior Chol of the Hawks getting up extremely high. And this photo was taken by Bradley Moylan, does a bit of volunteer work for the Hawks, also at the Bridgenorth Football Club in the NTFA. He's just 17 years of age. And hasn't he got a talent? You could see that footy just about to land in the hands, and Chol at his peak of the height there as he leapt for a fantastic mark. He kicked a goal from that as well. So that is our photo of the week, with thanks to the Little Rivers Brewing Company, but we'll sort Marby out, and thank Bradley for sending that photo through to us as well. So our photo of the week. So with plenty of local footy back, don't forget to send your pictures in this weekend and early in the week. Send it through to us via email or on Messenger on our Facebook page. We'd love to see them. We'll have plenty up on next week's show. All right, we're going to go to a very quick break. A message from our great friends at DLM Machinery, and that's going to be followed with our Club of the Week.
Durable, reliable, heavy duty. Get the power you need from the people who know machinery. For sales, parts, servicing and expert advice, call DLM Machinery today or visit dlmmachinery.com.au.
With thanks to Harrison Agents, it's time now for our Club in Focus. And this week, it is the Meander Valley Suns Football Club. Now, probably one of the newest football clubs in Tasmania. They've only been around since 2012. They commenced in the former Leven Association, which no longer exists. They've remarkably won the senior premiership in their very first year. Their men's team, well, they've struggled on the field for the past few years. Their women's team, well, they have been a massive success story, most recently playing off in the NTFA Division 1 Grand Final last year. Now, Des Osterberry plays for the women's side. She's also on the committee of the club and has been good enough to join us on the show. Nice to have you with us, Des. Welcome.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Tell us how you got involved in footy and what drew you to Meander Valley.
So growing up, footy wasn't really for women when I was younger, and it wasn't really an option for us to play when I was at school. So I was involved through my family, watching my brothers and dad. But my friend, I really wanted to play after finishing school. So my friend said, "Oh, she's playing out at Meander. You'll come for a couple of trainings and see how you go." And that's pretty much to that. Like, I haven't really left now.
And tell us about the club itself and how important the club is to you, to the women that play there, but also to all the players, because you have got, and we'll get onto it later, there are a lot of players at the club.
Yeah, so I love this club, I won't lie. Like, it is great. The culture around the club is amazing. Like, you feel very included within the team, especially in terms of trainings and, making commitments, because everyone obviously has a lot going on. So the club aspect is really good in the sense that doesn't matter if you can't be there. If you're there, then you're having a good time and no one's really questioning your ability to be there.
Fantastic. Now, the thing I love as well is the club actually pays a lot of respect and homage to football clubs that no longer exist in that Meander Valley area. And we think of Hagley and Westbury, who names appear on the back of the playing jumpers as well. So it's a great thing that it's Meander Valley Football Club, but also it does respect a lot of the history out there.
Yeah, it definitely does, yeah.
Your women's side, now, they made the Division 1 grand final for the last couple of years, and there's the team photo before the grand final last year on beautiful UTAS Stadium.
Yeah.
Now, even though you fell short in both grand finals, I mean, it's a significant achievement for a club that is still, as I said, relatively new that you've got so far, and you have so many women playing. Your numbers are great. You're doing well again this year in a pretty tight competition. But tell us about that, because with your side, we'll get onto the men shortly, but you have an abundance of players at the club. How are you attracting them?
Well, I guess it kind of started when we made the grand final that first year. Like, you know, it was a bit of a taste and everyone on the team really loved it. And then hearing about the club, I guess we kind of just attracted the interest with how much fun we have out there. And a lot of girls, after getting that taste, was really, really driven to then do it again. So that's what pushed us to get there again last year, which was really good. But I think, we just reach out to our own friends and family, as well as try and reach out on social media as much as we can. And it seems to attract a couple each year, which is nice.
And what about the support from the community as well? Home attendances, you play out at the Westbury football ground. What's that like?
Yeah, really good. Like the community itself, we have a lot of past players that used to be involved with when it was Hagley, Westbury and the 11 Association. A lot of even though, you know, they're well in their age now, they definitely come around and they get and support both us women and the men, which is really nice to see. And we get a lot of, younger kids coming to play Auskick. And, you know, seeing them come and do their training, the local kids, and then coming, because we train the same nights as them, being able to do some stuff with them when they're finishing up was really good, because then it kind of shows them how much fun and how much joy they get from playing the sport.
Absolutely. And I guess it is important for the club moving forward for the future as well, in terms of the fact that you have so many juniors that are coming out there on a Sunday as well. And do the players get involved with that as well, and helping a lot of the kids out?
Every now and then, I think on Thursday nights is when they did their training. So, you know, some of us try and get our training a bit earlier to help out however we can. Which was good. And I know they played their grand final at halftime, one of our senior men's games. So we kind of did a little tunnel for them and, you know, really supported them and encouraged them to really enjoy the day and the game.
Now, the men, we'll get a good segue there, because they have struggled on the field for a few years. But we've got a pic here we're going to show, because it was 1,036 days since they celebrated a win. So that's almost 3 years. I mean, this must have been a seriously good night in Westbury of celebrations after that.
Yeah, well, it started from that last siren, I guess. I'm not sure, there's probably not a photo, but there's definitely lots of videos taken of all of us women players. We came back and watched the game and ran out onto the field with them. Like it felt like it was a grand final for them. It was just a really good feeling for the whole club. We had a function on that night as well, so it worked really well. We segued into that, and everyone just really enjoyed themselves and had a good time, which was really nice.
And how have you seen the club? Because obviously the women have been a success story. The men have struggled for a few years, but from an outsider's point of view, it doesn't seem to impact the club culturally or how it's going. The club actually seems to be thriving off the field. Yeah,
I guess that it comes down to we're having a lot of success, but I think because we're so close, we're not just men's and women's teams. We're one club. We all join in, like Thursday night player tees. Everyone hangs around and everyone sits with each other. It's not like it's just this team and that team. It's really mingled and mixed up, which is good, as well as the support that we give each other. So we try and get there and watch them every game that we can, and they obviously come and watch us. So it's just, I don't know, it's always been like that since I've been there, but it's just obviously it's a family more than a club, I guess. Everyone really cares for each other and gets around each other.
And that goes well also, I guess, hand in hand with the significance and the importance that the club places on volunteers, because you recognise them. And I think this might have been an initiative of yours as well, around the volunteer award, or was it?
The committee, but I took on the role.
You took on the role?
Took on the role to really get it going, yeah.
So you do have a Volunteer of the Week award that comes up all the time. Now, Megan Flower took this one out recently, and good to see you got local businesses getting on board as well with offering rewards there. And I think we might have a photo coming up as well. So tell us about I guess in particular, Megan and her role at the club.
Yes, well, her role is she organised all of our merchandise, So she gets all the orders for all of our playing gear, our hoodies, our polos, all of that kind of stuff, as well as she's always in the kitchen.
So you're taste testing a little cheesecake there, are you,
Yeah,
Des?
that was actually one of the boys at the club. It was his 30th birthday, so we're celebrating that after training. But so she is always in the kitchen or doing something, and along with her husband, Colin, they both just seem to always be on their feet doing something, helping out, and we just want to make sure that we're recognising all of those people that are putting in that effort, and they're not getting paid, but they're just doing it for the club because of how much they really like being there.
Yep, we wouldn't survive without our volunteers, would we? So
No.
look, Des, thanks for coming in today. It's great to learn a lot more about the Meander Valley Football Club and particularly the success that's happening off the field as well in the NTFA. But I know the women's side, they're travelling along pretty well at the moment.
Yeah.
It's a pretty tight competition with Hillwood, Deloraine, of course, the reigning premiers. And you guys, how are you sort of feeling, midway through the season?
We're feeling good. I think we know we've got a lot more challenges coming up. Like they're not easy games, but definitely games that as long as we prepare ourselves and we go out there and we play our game, we can put it all on the field and just do our absolute best, I guess.
All right. Well, I know we're going to look at the matches a little bit later on in the show, but great to have you on the show. And thanks for getting everyone in our footy community to learn a bit more about Meander Valley Suns.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
Pleasure. That's Des Osterberry joining us from the Meander Valley Football Club, their home ground out at Westbury. Go and check it out. It's a beautiful town and a great little footy ground as well. All right, time for a break. When we come back, it's women's football.
Durable, reliable, heavy duty. Get the power you need from the people who know machinery. For sales, parts, servicing and expert advice. Call DLM Machinery today or visit dlmmachinery.com.au.
With thanks to Cleanaway, now time for our women's segment. And of course, the All-Stars Women's Series really dominated the landscape of local football in Tasmania for the last couple of weekends. And a big congratulations to the NWFL, the Northwest Football League women, have taken out this year's Women's Statewide All-Stars Series after they won both of their games across the past fortnight. So you can see the team photo there on your screen now in celebration mode. Now, how tight was it? Well, very tight, because they defeated the NTFA at Dial Park a couple of weeks ago by 2 points. And then last weekend, they took out the series by defeating the SFL, the Southern Football League, by the same margin, just 2 points in game number 2. It was enough for the NWFL to stay undefeated and take out the title. The NTFA, well, they came so close as well. They actually led the NWFL late in that opening match at Dial Park. Then a late goal saw the NWFL get up. And then on Monday, it was a 15-point victory to the NTFA over the SFL. So thank you for all those magnificent photos. They are courtesy of Solstice Digital as well. So thank you for shooting all of those photos through. Now, also, the Women's Statewide All-Star Series saw the MVP crowned, and we can announce that Brianna Barwick from the SFL, there she is, up on the screen. She got the most votes, 11 votes, winning by 2 from Angelica Clark of the SFL and the NTFA's Alice Robinson, both polling 9 votes. And in third place, Kelsey Hill from the NTFA. She finished with 7 votes. So well done to Brianna Barwick. Had a great couple of games for the SFL. There's her stats as well. Pretty good. 27.5 disposals. And you can see the clearances as well. 8 and 9 intercepts. So very worthy winner and a great couple of games and for her in the All-Stars Series, which was a brilliant couple of weeks of women's football being showcased. Well, let's turn our attention from the past fortnight to this weekend and the SFLW back in action in Division 1. It is round 11. Now, it's just the one game coming up this weekend. That is going to be at Blunston Arena at 4:30 p.m. But what a game this should be. Second versus first. Clarence 5 wins, 2 losses, are taking on the undefeated Kingborough. So that should be a beauty in Division 1. Glenorchy, Lauderdale and North Hobart, they have got the bye. You can see there, Division 2, full round of games coming up. It's round number 9 and 2 matches to be played this Friday night. Firstly, at the Signet Oval at 6 p.m. Port, who are currently in 4th place, are taking on St Virgil's. Should be a good game. St Virgil's currently 6th. Then we have the top of the table, Claremont at home at Abbotsfield Park, 7:30 p.m. tomorrow night. They are undefeated and take on Lindisfarne, who have just got the 1 win for the season so far. And then on Saturday, 9:30 a.m. Geez, they'll be chilly, won't they? University of Tasmania at home to Brighton. And then at 10 a.m, we've got a game at Boyer with New Norfolk, currently sitting in 3rd place, against Hutchins in 2nd, both 6 wins and 1 loss. So that should be a terrific game. And then the winless Southeast Suns, they are at home to Huonville with Dodgers Ferry, the bye this week. So that is a wrap on the SFLW and what is coming up this weekend. We turn our attention now to the NTFA women's competition. Firstly to the Premier Division and round number 7. And on Saturday, we can see Old Launcestonians are going to be at home to South Launceston at 10:25. That's at Invermay Park next to UTAS Stadium. OL's currently on 4 wins and 2 losses. The reigning Premier sitting 2nd. And the Bulldogs 3 wins and 3 losses. Scottsdale have got a home game against the top of the table, Bridgenorth. So Scottsdale 0-6. Bridgenorth 6-0. And at Windsor Park, 12:30 p.m. Launceston and Old Scotch. Should be a pretty good game as well. The Blues currently in 3rd spot, 4-2 against Old Scotch, looking for their 2nd win of the season. And in Division 1 of the NTFA Women's, we'll show you those games now. It is round number 7, and the new team this season, St Pat's, have had a pretty good start to their time as a football club in the women's space. Just the 1 win from their 5 matches, but have been very competitive. They're playing at Prospect Park tomorrow night at 7 o'clock in a game that they definitely could win. Evandale looking for their first win of the season. Then on also Friday night, Deloraine are at home to Georgetown. And then, of course, we caught up with Des a little bit earlier from the Meander Valley Suns, and last year's grand finalists are at home on Saturday morning. They take on Longford. Hillwood this week have the bye in that competition. So that is a look at what's going to be a big weekend in women's football. If you've got any women's footy stories, we'd love to hear from you. Send us a message here on the show. All right, time for a break, and we're on the home stretch. It's going to be football around Tasmania coming up shortly.
Durable, reliable, heavy duty. Get the power you need from the people who know machinery. For sales, parts, servicing and expert advice, call DLM Machinery today or visit dlmmachinery.com.au.
Great to have your company on Tassie Rules, Tasmania's footy show. Time to look at footy news from around Tasmania, and continuing on the theme of rep footy, well, this was also played for the men down at North Hobart Oval, and it was a clean sweep for the NWFL, who took out the women's as well. Not only going through undefeated in the All-Star Series for the women, but the senior men and Colts sides also had victories over the SFL in the seniors. It was a great performance from the Northwest, 10-19-79. They defeated the SFL 10-3-63, and in the Colts, well, huge win for the Northwest, 13-8-86 to the SFL 1-1-7. Local footy, well, it's back in force this weekend. So we're going to check out a few of the local competitions around Tasmania. And we're going to begin with the King Island Football Association. We've got a great photo here that picked up on their Facebook page during the course of the week. Now, this was taken in 1926, and this is the Curry Football Ground. 98 years ago, Pagara were taking on Curry that day. So Pagara were part of the King Island Football Association from 1920 to 1927. Just sort of put that out there. In pretty good nick too for such an old photo. But let's move on to what's happening now in the King Island Football Association. This Saturday at 2:30 p.m, North are taking on Curry at Curry, where that photo was taken. We can take a look at the ladder at the moment. Curry are on top of the ladder, undefeated, with North on 1 win from their 3 matches, and Grassy also on 1 win from their 4. Now, it is obviously a very famous competition, only 3 teams in the comp, but it's been a very, very even start to the season. Looking through the fixtures so far for the year, it was really interesting to note that there's only been 1 game that's had a margin of more than 19 points. So fantastic for the local communities over there on King Island, seeing that great competition getting stronger and stronger, and a big credit to Jan van Rooswijk and his team over there. All right, so that is King Island Football Association. Let's have a look now at the SFL men, because it's going to be round 10 coming up this weekend. And in the seniors, 4th place Sorrel are taking on 9th placed Claremont. That's down at Pembroke Park. All games at 2 o'clock this Saturday. New Norfolk now 3 and 5 on the table. They're in 7th place. They're taking on the ladder leaders, Signet, who have not lost a game so far. So Signet certainly will start favourites. Lindisfarne in 2nd place. They're at home at Anzac Park to Dodgers Ferry. And Hobart are taking on Brighton at the TCA ground. Huonville, they have the bye this weekend. To the TSL, the match of the day, that is going to be at UTAS Stadium, and it is North Launceston and Clarence. Coverage on City Parker Radio. You can listen to that on the dial or also via their website, cityparkerradio.com. So the Bombers taking on the Roos. Coverage from 12:55 p.m. That should be a good game. Last time the 2 teams met, it was North winning by 46 points, but they're 1st and 2nd on the ladder. So it should be a very good game in the TSL. Turning our attention to the NTFA Premier Division, where it is round number 10. South Launceston currently sitting 2 games clear on top, but then we've got 2nd to 4th are separated by percentage only. Longford, Rochalee and Bridgenorth. Georgetown are going to be at home at Bluecombe Park, taking on Deloraine at 7th versus 8th. Match of the day, no doubt, is going to be up at Youngtown. South Launceston are taking on the reigning premiers in Rochalee. And Scottsdale are at home to Hillwood. Scottsdale in search of their first win. And Cressy Football Ground, I was out there a little bit earlier today. They're going to host their first game in a decade. And we got a photo from being out there today. Beautiful weather. There it is. It is seriously one of the bigger football grounds that I have ever been to. It is huge. And the town is going to be chock-a-block full. Talking to some of the locals and those from Bracknell out there today, they cannot wait. The Cressy Football Club, I think, disbanded in around about the year 2000. And I know plenty of locals are coming out there to support Bracknell. It's ironic because they were massive rivals back in the day. But that is the NTFA Premier Division clash between Bracknell and Bridgenorth, which is a really important game as well. So it should be a cracking day. To NTFA Division 1, it is round 10. Old Scotch, top of the table, are taking on the winless University of Tasmania at the cricket ground. Old Launcestonians take on St Pat's at Invermay Park. Evandale and the Meander Valley Suns, that is at Morven Park in Evandale. Lilydale take on Perth. This should be a tight game. 2nd versus 3rd. Lilydale, the only undefeated side in the competition. Perth are 6 and 2. And then up at beautiful Bridport, we've got Bridport taking on the East Coast Swans. Again, a very important game, this one as well. East Coast currently sitting in 5th place, and Bridport a win further back in 6th. So a key match for both of those sides. Right, a few events to plug before we wrap things up. Next Friday night, Isaac Smith, 4-time premiership player, is going to be in town. Of course, Norm Smith medalist as well with Geelong. That's at the East Launceston Bowls Club. You can check out the information and details there on their Facebook page. Just $66 a ticket. Light supper included as well, and a number there to make a booking. The Claremont Football Club, congratulations to them, because they're going to be celebrating their 100th year on the 22nd of June. Details there on the screen, but you can also check out their excellent Facebook page with all the details as well. Lunch, some drinks included. You see a great photo there at the bottom with the mountain in the background. So that'll be a beauty. Also coming up, Steve Johnson, Stevie J, of course, with Geelong great and GWS Giants. He'll be appearing at the club this Friday night. Actually a free event as well, so get along to that one. Masters football, we focused on that a couple of weeks ago on the show. Well, this might be your thing to go to this weekend on Sunday at the TCA ground. Masters footy from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Should be a terrific day. Hobart and Claremont there, focused on the Hobart Football Club's Facebook page as well. And then finally, congratulations to the Darwin Association. We caught up with their coach last week on the show. The Darwin Association defeated the NWFA in the rep game last Friday night at Wivenhoe by just 2 points in the under-23s and 16 points in the seniors. So a couple of cracking games, and photos courtesy of Ali Murfitt. So well done to the Darwin Association. All right, well, that pretty much wraps up things on Tassie Rules Tasmania's footy show for this week. Thanks very much for your company. Don't forget, send us in your photos, any stories, anything you want to get across as well. That is what we are all about. Community football here on the show. We look forward to your company next weekend. Enjoy the rest of your week.